कि हमें ये मौका मिला है इस पेंडेमिक सिचुएशन।
Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar moves 2 bills relating to farmers in the Rajya Sabha. The House to also consider the Banking Regulation Amendment Bill 2020 later today. Lok Sabha to hold discussions on situation of COVID-19 in the country. The Foreign Contribution Regulation Amendment Bill 2020 to be also introduced in the House today. India scales another high in the fight against COVID-19. An all-time record high of 12 lakh tests conducted across the country in the last 24 hours. A total of more than 6 crore 37 lakh tests conducted in India. India's fight against COVID-19 continues to get stronger as more than 94,000 people recovered from the disease on Saturday. Case fatality rate stays at 1.61%. Global cases of COVID-19 crossed 3 crore 9 lakh mark with over 9 lakh 61,000 deaths reported worldwide. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal reviews the oxygen supply in states, asks states to focus on health facilities at the district level. Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba holds a high-level review meeting with states and union territories on the status of COVID. And in sports, a miserable start to Manchester United's English Premier League campaign. A 1-3 defeat to Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. Eddie Nketiah's leg tap-in secures Arsenal their second win of the campaign. Good morning. Welcome to English News. I am Anil Thomas. Now for the stories in detail. Rajya Sabha has convened for the 7th day today. Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar today moved 2 important bills relating to farmers in the upper house. The Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020 and the Farm Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020. The Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Service Bill 2020 creates a framework for contract farming through an agreement between a farmer and a buyer prior to the production or rearing of any farm produce. The Farm Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020 allows intrastate and interstate trade of farmers' produce beyond the physical premises of the APMC markets. Union Minister said that the bills are historic and will bring a change for farmers.
ये जो दोनों बिल लोक सभा से पारित होकर आज राज्य सभा में विचार के लिए आए हैं, ये दोनों बिल ऐतिहासिक हैं और किसानों के जीवन में क्रांतिकारी बदलाव लाने वाले हैं। इस बिल के माध्यम से किसान को अपनी फसल किसी भी स्थान से किसी भी स्थान पर मनचाही कीमत पर बेचने की स्वतंत्रता होगी। इन विधेयकों से किसान को महंगी फसलें पैदावार करने का अवसर मिलेगा।
Former Prime Minister H.D. Devagoda took oath as the newly elected Rajya Sabha member at the beginning of the session. The upper house will also consider the Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020, the Banking Regulation Amendment Bill 2020, Indian Institute of Information Technology Laws Amendment Bill 2020 later today. In Lok Sabha, the House will discuss COVID-19 situation in the country. Few important bills are to be introduced and moved today. Home Minister Amit Shah will introduce the Foreign Contribution Regulation Amendment Bill 2020 and will also move the National Forensic Science University Bill 2020. One more bill that will be introduced by the Home Minister is the Rashtriya Raksha University Bill 2020. 3 bills that will be moved by the Home Minister on the 7th day of the monsoon session. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is also expected to introduce few bills today. The finance minister will move the bilateral netting of qualified financial contracts Bill 2020 to ensure financial stability and to promote competitiveness in Indian financial markets, while she will also move the Factoring Regulation Amendment Bill 2020 in Lok Sabha today. Well, for more on the story, Abhishek Jha, our correspondent, joining us. Abhishek, an important day, especially when it comes to farmers and the reforms for farmers. How big are the three bills that will be presented in the upper house? Two bills are up for discussion in Rajya Sabha currently, but how important or how big are these bills and how are they going to change the life of the farmers there?
Anil, as we know that government has been pushing up for doubling the farmers' income, and also to empower farmers. So these three bills are actually intended in that direction.
Okay.
When farmers will have not only a right over their produce, but they will also have right on whom to sell, where to sell, and how to sell. Until now, the farmers didn't have this right to go ahead with selling their produce to other states. They needed to sell their produce in a particular mandi, aligning with their location of their farm and their fields. The moment they would cross any state borders, they will have to show some authenticating papers, and accordingly. So there were a lot of roadblocks and procedural hiccups earlier. Now, with these passing of these bills, farmers will not only have this option of selling their produce, they can also hold it for some time, and they can wait for the price to go appropriately up, and then they can sell and get maximum profit out of their produce. In a way, they will also have this liberty from getting out of the clutches of those adhatis and those middlemen in the mandis who would always finance their farming, and then accordingly they will charge them at a very high interest rate, and so that those farmers will always go back to mandis and sell their produce as per the wishes of those middlemen. So in a way, this whole mandate of these three bills is to get farmers out of the clutches of those middlemen. They have now their own independent judgment, their own independent assessment and decision-making power, and accordingly, this will in a very sooner time, this will ensure the farmers are not only more empowered, they are financially more independent also.
Okay, how do you look at these, these three bills? Especially when it comes to these bills, in the numbers game, if you would purely look at it, the numbers clearly looked stacked in favor. But having said that, do you feel that gone are those days of distress selling that farmers did? This particular bill, if it passes the Rajya Sabha, gives the farmers the window to explore not only in their market but also interstate markets.
Okay, so Anil, there are like 2-3 points that can that can throw some light on why this protest is going on. First of all, is there is like yesterday I was at an event in Haryana where BJP president was communicating with the farmers community. So while many of those leaders they had this opinion that the bill is in favor of the farmers, there were a few also who wanted to have more information from the government side. So maybe the information has not percolated in a way it should be, and maybe some more aggressive nature of campaign from the government side or from those who are favoring the bill would in a time-bound manner ensure that the farmers would also understand what the bill comprises of and what is it is intended for. Also, then there is marketing agenda of many mandi, because the commission that they charge on while the farmers would be selling their produce, that is also one factor which is stopping them letting farmers decide on their own. And this whole lobby of those marketing middlemen is also behind these protests, not letting farmers understand this bill and letting them choose over whom they want to sell their produce. So apart from this, there is largely a broader consensus of farmer that this bill is going to favor their case in the days to come.
Okay, Abhishek, a quick word from you. Till 2024, if you look at it, there are almost 8 harvesting seasons that are still left. Is there some kind of the fear factor that farmers have that they will not get the MSP that on which these grains are procured by those Food Corporation of India and other agencies? Having said that, do you feel that the assurance or the finer points of this particular bill are not percolating down to the last man standing there, the farmer who's producing the goods, and he seems to be somewhere left confused. This particular bill has not trickled down well when it comes to the finer points of this particular bill.
In a way, Anil, you are very much right, because the moment it is being spread that the MSP is going to be abolished, there is no mention of MSP
yes.
abolished with these bills. So where does this agenda of MSP will not be there comes in? Also, that mandis will be shut. There is no way that this bill mandates that the mandis will be shut and farmers will not have access to mandi. Mandis will operate. These MSP will also operate. Now, the only good thing is going to happen is farmers will have other options also to sell their produce, to choose their buyers. And this, in a way, is not going to hamper the already established structural form of procurement and selling of their produce. This is going to have an alternative way also that farmers can choose as per their own wishes. So these are 2-3 points that farmers also need to understand. Maybe some more campaigning and some more understanding in a timely manner will ease this protest thing, and farmers will understand the benefit of these bills.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you and appreciate you joining us this morning with those updates there, giving more clarity on that particular bills that have been presented in Rajya Sabha. 3 bills that are important to the farm sector. They have already been passed in the Lok Sabha and facing the test in the Rajya Sabha. Moving on now to COVID-19 and the situation in India. Let's now take a look at the update on COVID-19 from across the country. India continues to report high number of recoveries every day. 94,612 recoveries were recorded in a single day, taking the cumulative total of recovered patients in India to 43,03,043. With this, the recovery rate currently stands at 79.68%. India's 3-prong strategy of test, trace and treat is proving to be a success. The fatality rate stands at 1.61%. India, in its fight against COVID-19, has scaled another peak in testing through effective management strategy. In a tweet, Health Ministry said that in the last 24 hours, 12 lakh tests were conducted across the country, which was an all-time record high. With this, more than 6 crore 36 lakh 61,060 tests have been conducted in India. Health Ministry also informed that higher testing has led to early identification of positive cases, timely and effective treatment and low mortality. Apart from this, states have been advised that all symptomatic negative of rapid antigen tests are mandatorily subjected to RT-PCR tests. The Tata Crispr, or the clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats test powered by CSIR and IGIB that's the Feluda test, has received regulatory approval from the Drug Controller General of India for commercial launch. As per ICMR guidelines, meeting high quality benchmarks with 96% sensitivity and 98% specificity for detecting the COVID-19. This test uses an indigenously developed cutting-edge CRISPR technology for the detection of the genomic sequence of SARS-CoV-2 virus. CRISPR is a genome editing technology for diagnosing diseases. The Tata Crispr test is the world's first diagnostic test to deploy a specially adapted Cas9 protein to successfully detect the virus causing COVID-19. This marks a significant achievement for the Indian scientific community, moving from the R&D to the high accuracy, scalable and reliable test in less than 100 days. As part of the Union government's coordinated strategy for effective containment and management of COVID-19 pandemic, a high-level review meeting was chaired by Cabinet Secretary on Saturday. Minister of Commerce and Industry, members, Health, Niti Aayog, Union Health Secretary, Secretary of Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, senior officials from the Health Ministry, Ministry of Home Affairs and Chief Secretaries of 12 states and Union territories participated in the review meeting. About 80% of the COVID caseload in the country is concentrated in 12 states and Union territories. The Minister of Commerce and Industry also addressed the states and reviewed the oxygen availability in these states and requested them to effectively plan and manage logistical issues related with oxygen availability. The Cabinet Secretary complimented the states for the significant ramping up of testing and asking them to focus on case mortality rate. Union Health Secretary presented a detailed status note on COVID-19 on all these states, with particular focus on the number of tests conducted in each state and union territory, their positivity rate and their average daily CFR. Availability of health infrastructure and the district-wise oxygen availability was also presented. In a radical development aimed at enhancing the presence of trained health human resource across districts, the government through the MCI Board of Governors have notified new postgraduate medical education regulations by introducing a special course called District Residency Program for all PG students. All postgraduate students pursuing MD or MS will have to undergo compulsorily posting for 3 months at district hospitals as part of their medical course curriculum starting from 2020-21 academic session. Such rotation will take place in the 3rd, 4th or 5th semester of the postgraduate program. Since a quarter of the PG batch will be away at all times once the program starts, medical colleges will be allowed to apply for extra seats to compensate for reduced students' presence on the campus. A certificate of satisfactory performance will be issued by the district residency program coordinator. This will be appointed across all district hospitals as part of the new module. Well, amid the spiraling COVID-19 cases, Section 144 of CRPC was imposed in 11 districts of Rajasthan on Saturday to contain the spread of COVID-19. Police may take action if 5 or more people gather at a place. The districts where Section 144 has been imposed are Jaipur, Jodhpur, Kota, Ajmer, Alwar, Bhilwara, Bikaner, Udaipur, Sikar, Pali and Nagaur. The decision has been taken at a meeting chaired by Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot while reviewing the pandemic situation in the state. However, no new restrictions apart from Section 144 have been imposed in the state. The existing restrictions would remain in effect. Social and religious functions will remain banned in the state till October 31st. Only 50 guests will be allowed to take part in marriage ceremonies, while 20 people can attend cremation or last rites. In Uttar Pradesh, an alumni of the Computer Science Department of the Hardcore Butler Technical University, that's HBTU in Kanpur, has developed a ventilator of international standard under the startup initiative. The ventilator developed by Shiv Shankar Upadhyay can be a blessing for COVID-19 patients during this pandemic. Shiv Shankar said that the ventilator has been specifically developed keeping in mind the guidelines by DRDO as well as United States and UK for COVID-19. He said that special attention has also been given to prevent the spread of COVID-19 infection and to make the ventilator available in rural areas where there are less facilities.
ये वेंटिलेटर जो डीआरडीओ की गाइडलाइंस आए थे कोविड के लिए जो वेंटिलेटर डेवलप करने के लिए और जो यूएस और यूके के भी जो गाइडलाइंस हैं कोविड के वेंटिलेटर के लिए उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए डेवलप किया गया है। वेंटिलेटर में 2-3 चीज़ों की खास ध्यान दिया गया है कि कोविड में जिस तरह से इन्फेक्शन फैलता है उस इन्फेक्शन को कैसे रोका जा सके। हमारे रूरल एरियाज़ में जो भी गांव देहात के जो छोटे कस्बों में हॉस्पिटल्स हैं जहां पे कम सुविधाएं हैं वहां पर भी कैसे लोगों का इलाज किया जा सके। जिस कीमत में एक नॉर्मल वेंटिलेटर आता है उस कीमत में ऐसे 5 वेंटिलेटर हम इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं और किसी भी दूसरे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती इसके ऑपरेशन के लिए।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone of 9 highway projects in Bihar through video conference on Monday. These 9 highway projects involve a road length of about 350 kilometers at a cost of 14,258 crore rupees. Paving the way for development of Bihar, these roads will enhance better connectivity, convenience and economic growth in and around the state. Movement of people and goods will also improve substantially, specifically with the neighboring states of Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand. Prime Minister will also inaugurate the optic fiber internet service in the state. It is a prestigious project covering all 45,945 villages of Bihar, which will enable a digital revolution to reach the farthest corner of the state. This project will lead digital services like e-education, e-agriculture, telemedicine, tele-law and other social security schemes to be easily available to all citizens of Bihar at the click of a button. Well, the Indian Meteorological Department, that's the IMD, has issued a red alert for extremely heavy rainfall in 3 districts of Kerala. The IMD in its latest weather forecast has predicted heavy rains in the next few days across the state. While red alert has been issued for Idukki, Kannur and Kasaragod districts in Kerala. The temperature has risen significantly in Delhi due to dry weather conditions for the 11th consecutive day. The meteorological department has said that a low pressure brewing over the Bay of Bengal and is likely to trigger rainfall across West Bengal from today. Rainfall is likely to continue till Wednesday, where several districts of the state may receive heavy to very heavy rainfall at some places. Fishermen have been warned not to venture into the sea. In Uttar Pradesh, as many as 105 self-help groups are working in Mathura to make women self-reliant and financially independent. The women are making crowns, costumes, school dresses and protective masks to avoid COVID infections. While the women here are being trained to become self-reliant, they are also being motivated and encouraged to become more empowered and to lead an independent life by themselves. To further make the community stronger, the products designed by the self-help groups are being sold in markets and efforts are being made to make them available on online sites.
गारमेंट कंस्ट्रक्शन किया है, बट फ्यूचर में मुझे लगता है कि मैं और भी बेटर कर सकती हूँ. एज ए डिजाइनर भी मैं वर्क कर सकती हूँ. तो ये मेरे लिए कि मैं आत्मनिर्भर रह सकती हूँ खुद पर, मुझे किसी पे डिपेंड होने की जरूरत नहीं होगी. हर लड़की को, हर लेडी को आत्मनिर्भर बनना चाहिए, क्योंकि मोदी जी ने भी आत्मनिर्भर की एक वो मुहिम चलाई है और हम उसको फॉलो भी कर रहे हैं. हमें बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिल रहा है, बहुत कुछ करने को, और इसमें हमारा इनकम भी है. घर पे बैठ के हम अपना जैसे मास्क मैं बनाती हूँ, तो मास्क का बिजनेस हम स्टार्ट करके सेल भी कर सकते हैं, उनको दूर दूर तक पहुँचा भी सकते हैं.
Well, let's now take a look at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. Over 3 crore 9 lakh coronavirus cases being reported worldwide, with over 9 lakh 61,000 deaths being reported. As many as 2 crore 25 lakh people have also recovered from COVID-19. United States continues to top the list, being the worst hit country by the pandemic so far, with the highest number of COVID-19 cases and fatalities. US has over 69 lakh 67,000 cases of COVID-19, with the death toll now crossing 2 lakh 3,000 mark. In terms of death, Brazil stands second on the tally with 1 lakh 36,000 deaths. There are 45 lakh 28,000 cases of COVID-19 in Brazil. Moving to England, where the government has decided to take strict action against people who refuse order to self-isolate. Fines up to £10,000 will be imposed on defaulters. Fines will initially start at £1,000, rising to £10,000 for repeated offenders. New measures also include a one-off £500 support payment for those on lower incomes. The new regulations will come into effect in England from September 28th. Announcing the new rules for England, Boris Johnson said that the measures were necessary to control the spread of the virus and to protect the most vulnerable from becoming infected. Meanwhile, ministers are in discussion with the devolved administrations for Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland to extend the new regulations in United Kingdom. In Spain, the regional government of the Community of Madrid has issued new anti-epidemic measures against COVID-19, imposing limited movement restrictions from Monday. The health department head said that the movement will be restricted in 37 areas, 6 health districts and 8 municipalities, while it will affect over 8.5 lakh people in the capital and outlying towns after it comes into force. Residents will not be allowed to go in and out of the quarantined areas except medical emergencies, official work and schools. However, movement within the range of the controlled areas will be allowed. Restaurants and bars will be limited to 50% capacity and will have to close by 10 p.m. whereas the public parks and gardens will remain closed. Social gatherings will also be limited to 6 people. Spain has so far reported more than 30 lakh 9,000 cases, and with a death toll now, with the death toll in that particular country there over 31,000. Well, moving on, US President Donald Trump said he has approved a deal for Oracle and Walmart to acquire US operations of TikTok. Trump had earlier cited national security concerns in issuing a pair of executive orders to ban TikTok in the states unless such deal comes through. Trump said the new company would be headquartered in Texas and would hire up to 25,000 people and would contribute $5 billion towards United States. Meanwhile, Oracle and Walmart are expected to take significant equity stakes and will house all data to inspect the TikTok source code. A ban on US downloads of the app was set to go into effect from today. On sports, Manchester United had to face defeat in the first match of the new season of the English Premier League over the weekend. The Red Devils faced Crystal Palace in the first match played at Old Trafford, in which Crystal Palace defeated the host 3-1. Andres Townsend scored the first goal for Crystal Palace in the 7th minute. Wilfred Zaha scored for the visitors 2 times in the second half in the 74th and 85th minute. The only goal for Manchester United was scored by Donny van Beek in the 80th minute of the match. In another match, Arsenal defeated West Ham by 2-1 at home. Alexandre Lacazette and Eric Nketiah scored for the Gunners. This was Arsenal's second consecutive win this season. In other matches, Everton defeated West Bromwich 5-2 and Leeds United defeated Fulham 4-3. On to tennis, Rafael Nadal was beaten in straight sets in the quarterfinals of the Italian Open, but Novak Djokovic is through to the semi-finals. The 9-time champion lost to Argentina's Diego Schwartzman for the first time in his career, going down 6-2, 7-5 as he struggled with his serve. Novak Djokovic also dropped a set and needed more than 2 hours to defeat 97th-ranked German Dominik Koppler 6-3, 4-6, 6-3. Djokovic will next play Norway's Casper Ruud, who earlier battled past Italian 4th seed Matteo Berrettini 4-6, 6-3, 7-6. In the women's draw, top seed Simona Halep will play Spaniard Gabriela Muguruza in the semi-final, a battle of former French Open champions, before Roland Garros action begins on Monday. With the competition of Bayern Munich and Schalke, a new season of domestic football league began in Germany. The match was played on the first day in the German League Bundesliga, in which defending champions Bayern Munich beat Schalke by 8-0. This was the biggest win of the opening day in the league. Bayern's Sergei Gnabry scored a hat-trick and scored the goals in the 4th, 47th and 59th minute. Leon Goretzka scored on the 19th. Robert Lewandowski scored on the penalty in the 31st minute. Thomas Muller scored in the 69th. Leroy Sané scored in the 71st minute. And Jamal Musiala scored in the 81st minute. In the same season, leaving English Cup Manchester City, Sané connected with Bayern, also doing 2 assists. 17-year-old Jamal became Bayern's youngest goal scorer in the Bundesliga. On to badminton, the Sports Authority of India has approved the request of badminton player Kidambi Srikanth to allow his coach and physio to go for the Denmark Open badminton tournament. The tournament will be played in Odense from 13th to the 18th of October. Kidambi will get the support of Sports Authority of India as he is part of the top scheme. Sai will also bear the cost of Srikanth's COVID-19 test, which is required to be done before the tournament. PV Sindhu, who won a silver medal in the Olympics, and doubles pair of N.C. Reddy and Ashwini Punappa had decided to withdraw from the Denmark Open. Badminton, the World Badminton Body, or the badminton tournaments which were closed after March due to COVID-19, is getting a chance to resume internationally from this particular tournament. Earlier, the Thomas and Uber Cups also got postponed. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of news. Thanks for watching, but you take good care of yourself, because we all need to see a better tomorrow. Thanks for watching.